Thank you, Dynamics Con. I'm going to discuss with you 0 to 0 with Power Automate Desktop. Let me introduce myself. Myself, Goloknath Mishra. I'm working in Direct Asia as Power Platform Specialist. And my hashtag is GM Dynamics 365. I'm an MCT. I'm blogging also. I have YouTube channel and Power Addict and Azure D365 enthusiast. And along with that, I'm managing Dynamics Power Platform user group in Singapore and Orissa. And here are my links to connect with me. These are my blogs, YouTube, and Twitter and LinkedIn. So let's proceed. So these are the agenda of our discussion today. So what is current business expectations and evolution in automation, and how Microsoft Flow transfer to the Power Automate, and Power Automate Desktop and Actions demo. And last but not the least, definitely go ahead and post your questions in the chat window. I would happy to answer the questions. So let's go ahead. So what is current business expectation? So everyone's current business expectation is like, I don't want to do anything. I want my robot or somebody will do on behalf of me, right? All business prefer to do automate the task. If you see in the current slide, what it is showing, the executive is just doing his or her work, and you can see robot is doing the works, everything robot is doing. So this is what the business expectation. How exactly human demand is keep on changing. Initially, we are relying on the macros. Then later, we started toward business process automation. Then we proceed towards robotic process automation. And now it is the stage of intelligent process automation. When we are using macros, we are automating a single task. When we started business process automation, we started automation our business processes. When CRM, BPM, or ERP helped us to automate the process. And when it comes to RPA, it helps us to automate some structured data initial stages. Like Blue Prism first introduced the RPA in 2003, and later automation anywhere and UiPath subsequently. And current stage is the intelligent process automation. What exactly intelligent process automation? Intelligent process automation is nothing but it helps us to process the unstructured data as well. Okay. So along with that, computer vision and cognitive services, cognitive automation, it helps all those things. So how Microsoft answering to this RPA requirement, the customer's requirement? Microsoft first introduced the Microsoft Flow, and later it changed to Power Automate. So Microsoft Power Automate initially has a lot of things like automated flow, business process flow, instant flows. Later introduced the UI flows with the help of Selenium IDE. Then later Microsoft won automation, Win Automation. Then after Win Automation, winning the Win Automation application, it helps for the Power Automate Desktop part with Power Automate. So here comes Power Automate Desktop, which we are discussing today. And if we see the report of June 2021, how Microsoft transformed its Power Automate to the leader segment of Gartner's Magic Quadrant. Initially, if you see in the slide, actually, June 2020, Microsoft entered as visionaries. If you see in the snapshot I attached for 2020 report, and if you see June 2021, Microsoft entered into the leader segment. Let's proceed towards the Power Automate Desktop, how exactly it is used and how the architecture and how we are going to implement this. So the basic, it's very simple architecture. If you see from the images in this, first, it is going to install one service in the local desktop. It is UI Flow service. Then UI Flow service will communicate to the Azure Relay, and Azure Relay will communicate to the Power Automate Cloud services. Okay, this is how it's a direct connectivity. Let's say if I'm using on-premise data gateway, in that phase, it is going to be introduced one on-premise data gateway application within UI Flow service and Azure Relay services. So if you see the how Power Automate Desktop session credentials lifecycle goes on, human machine registration, we are doing machine registration. Here one person is doing some operation on his own machine, it is going to communicate through Power Automate desktop. If on-premise gateway is there, it will be on-premise gateway involvement will be there. If not, no need to do that. And when any machine request comes, get the response from Power Automate and Power Platform services. This is how the flow goes all about. Desktop to cloud communication. So on-premise data gateway, the basic structure is like why we use the on-premise data gateway. On-premise data gateway mostly used to communicate our, if any data resides in on-premise, I want to communicate with my Power Automate. So I can use the on-premise data gateway to do the manipulation of my on-premise residing data, connecting with Power Automate. We use the Power Automate data gateway. So I'm not taking much time. Let's go and we will see how to install Power Automate desktop and how to do all the actions. Let's move to the actions. So now we are going towards the live demo, how to install Power Automate desktop and how we will use different actions of Power Automate desktops. So let's move on. So first, I'm going to install the Power Automate desktop. Where I will install the Power Automate desktop, you can see one link is there, flow.microsoft.com. So you go to this flow.microsoft.com and you can see here download free. Actually, it is free of cost for Windows users also. So you can directly avail it free of cost. You can click it, download it. I have already downloaded it in my local PC, setup.microsoft Power Automate desktop. On double click, this will start installing the application. As we know, always any software, we have to just double click and click next. So same process, just double click on the application. It will open a dialog. It's a duplicate installation and is already in progress. Okay, I already opened it. Perfect. You can see it is asking me this dialog, Power Automate desktop setup. You can say it is going to install different packages, install packages. This package will let you create and use desktop flows to automate actions. So just click on next. And if I'm clicking on next, you can see it has 2 extra packages. It is asking us to install the Microsoft Edge or any web drivers for the Chrome or Edge or any browser specific. So that is required if, let's say, you want to automate the browser actions. So web drivers are necessary components. So when you will check this, then it is going to install the web driver in your respective browsers. So make it check, and I'll show you. Actually, I am not going to install, but I just want to show you how to install this. So this is just the process. You check this and then you select this, and here it is. If you click this install, it is going to install the application. I'm not going to install because I have already installed in my laptop. So this is how all about the check. This is the important part. I'll show you actually what exactly this means. Let me cancel it because I have already installed. If you see here, it is asking here, you can see Microsoft Power Automate full access. It is saying this application Microsoft Power Automate has full access. Okay, means whenever this color will be blue color means it's full access. And just keep this thing in mind. Whenever it doesn't have access, it will be gray out. Okay, so this has access. Power Automate desktop has access to this portal. Similarly, if I open my Edge browser, already I have installed the add-on also. That one also I can show you here. You can see here, it is, you can see it is grayed out. Okay, means it's not available. Let's say if I open any browser, any application, you can see now it changed, color changed to blue, right? So this is how this web driver works. Okay, so this is all about the installation. We installed. Actually, after installation, we saw in the architecture, it is going to install UI flow service. Where exactly that service is? Let's go to services. You can see now. You can see this is the service, UI flow service. It is going to install one user UI flow service and under NT service, and along with that, this is the service used to communicate with the cloud flows. Okay, so locally, whenever you will install Power Automate desktop, it is going to install this Power Automate desktop application along with this service. This service is going to communicate with the cloud flow. communicate with the cloud applications. So this is how the installation part. Let's move on to the next step. Let's say I have installed the applications. Now I want to register my machine. I want to use the actions. How I will use different actions. So if you see in this screen, I have registered my machine here. When you install Power Automate desktop, it will open this dialog actually. This kind of application you will see. I have a lot of components. I have already added a lot of applications, but for you, it will be blank. You can click this plus new flow to create a new flow from scratch. But here in the settings, actually, you can see machines. Under this, you can see my machine name. It is showing, it is registered the machine here. And the same machine, it is reflecting in this. If you go to monitors and machines, you can see the machine is registered here under my name. Okay, so let's say, consider one of the scenario. In one of the organization, let's say there are multiple departments are there, multiple users are there, and all need to be registered. So how exactly we are going to register? So normally in any organization, there are different departments are there. Let's say HR is one of the department, finance is one of the department, marketing is one of the department. So here is the concept of machine group. I have created finance department, HR department, sales department. Let's say we will create a new group. You click here. I am going to create marketing department. So let's say new department is created, that is marketing department. So marketing department, you can see this is one of the group. It is asking how many machines are there. So if you have any extra machine, you can add it here. Means under one group, all the machines will be registered. I don't have any other machine. That's why I cannot register right now. I have only one machine. So that's why this is how we will create the machine and machine groups. And next is, I presented in my slide also, there is on-premise data gateway also there. Let's say I have data resides in the on-premise. How I will communicate? I will use on-premise data gateway. So this is test on-premise data gateway it is showing. Where exactly this is configured? It is also, as I mentioned, it is one of the application you have to install. If you go to the flow, here, if you click here, it is showing on-premise data gateway. You click it, it will download one installer. That is on-premise data gateway. As I mentioned, flow.microsoft.com, you have to register there, then it is, you will get all these informations. So let me show you my on-premise data gateway. So this is my on-premise data gateway. It's loading for me. Here it is. So it is asking me sign in. Let me sign in. I'll pass my user ID. Next. It will ask me authentication. Just let me authenticate because OTP will come to my mobile. So you can see it is authenticating. Actually, on-premise data gateway is application. It is communicating to my, you can see now, it is test gateway is online and ready to be used. Status is ready. It is available. And the same test name, you can see the name is test. Same test name, it is showing here in the application. You can see gateway, under gateway, it is showing, here is the test gateway. So this is how you will install the machines, how you will configure the machine groups, and how you will install the gateways. So now we install Power Automate Desktop, we configured our machines, we configured our machine groups, we configured our gateway. So let's proceed to the actions of Power Automate Desktop. Okay, so as I mentioned, after installing the Power Automate Desktop, it is going to install this application. So once this application is installed, so how you will go ahead and create the application, create the flows. So you have to click this plus flow, plus new flow, just give the name, whatever name you want to give. It is going to open the, actually the IDE interface to develop the flow. Okay. So it is loading for me. You can see it is mentioned getting things ready. Okay, here it is the IDE. You can see in this IDE You can see left side, it is actions pane. Okay, there are a lot of actions are there. You can see the variables. There are a lot of variables also there. Then conditionals, you can see a lot of variables. Okay, then conditionals, then loops, wait, system, file, folder. There are a lot of actions are there. I think it's 350 plus actions are there in this. And how you are going to create? Simply, you just have to drag to this space. You can see center, there is one canvas window. You just need to drag to the center canvas. You can see it's popped up the information. It is asking me to fill the details. So this is how you are going to use the actions. Okay, so we understand how to take different actions, how we will start. And you can see all these options are like how to save and close. It's quite common in any of the applications. Then here is the edit, then debug. Actually, once we start working on this, we can debug where exactly the issue to identify. We can go ahead with the debug process. Then there are different tools. We can do desktop recorder. We can use the web recorder to automate the desktop and web applications. So we will see that how exactly we can use. And here are the variables, UI element and images. And here the same components. Actually, you can see this is variables also. This is the variable pane. This is UI element and this is images. So this is how it's all about IDE. Okay, so Power Automate Desktop we saw. I'm not going to use this because I have already prepared the scenario. Let's proceed towards using some of the standard actions. We know everywhere when we are going to develop any application, first is Hello World. Hello World is the first application, any application development, whether it is .NET, Java, or any platform. So here it is, we are going to use the Hello World also. So in this Hello World, what exactly I have written, I'll just show you, then we'll execute, we'll see how exactly Hello World is showing. Yep, here it is, Hello World loaded. Okay, so I used one action, that is display message. You can search here, display message. Here you can see display message. Just need to drag and drop here. Okay, so I have dragged and dropped. What information I passed? Just hello world as a message, and title I am giving our first program. Okay, and message box icon, you can select what type of message box you want to select. I selected information. You can select question, warning, error, if anything, because this is kind of information. It is nothing related to question and anything. So that's why I selected it as information. And message box, you can select what type of message box you want. Okay, cancel kind of button, or only okay, or yes or no kind of. I selected okay. Okay, so you select this. Once you selected everything, you can see it is producing one variable. Okay, it is producing variable button press event. If you want to rename that, you can double click and rename here also this variable. If you want to rename any variable, you can click here, you can rename it. So this is how we will add it. And the same variable, it is showing under the flow variables. So let's run it. You can see status, it is showing running. Okay, we got our first program, hello world. So finally, we started to use different action. First action, we identified how to display messages using Power Automate Desktop. Okay, so we have done our first assignment. Let's move on to the next. How we are going to use the variables. So let's see how exactly I am using variables here. Again, it will take some time to load actually. Okay, so the variable is loaded. So what exactly I am doing here in the variable? So first, if you see the actions I put in the variable, because I want to cover multiple actions in this variable. So variable first, I'm setting a variable. You can see set user ID to this. I'm using, again, you can search this variable here. You can see set variable. I use this action actually. What exactly I'm passing in this action? I set the user ID. Again, I renamed from here actually user ID, then to something I put. Okay. So this is the initial set variable. I want to increase the variable. This is also one of the action, increase variable by 1. So again, you can search that increase variable here, increase by, I put it 1. If any dynamic value, if you want to use in real life scenario, that also we can use at later stage. So here you can search increase, you can see increase variable. So, okay, this is also one of the action we can use. So after increase, I want to use the display message. Last time we saw how to use the display message. So that's why I'm not going to open again display message. Then generate random number. Let's say I want to generate some random number, and I can use the generate random number action. So minimum value, this is the minimum value I entered, and this is the maximum value I entered, and random number, and the variable produced is the random number. Okay. So then set variable. Now, initially, if you see earlier, I am setting the variable, I am incrementing the variable, and I'm displaying messages. But the setting variable initial is the manually. I set the value 202101. But here, what I am doing, I am setting the variable dynamically. How exactly? I am generating the random number, and I am assigning the random number variable to this. You can see as I'm assigning the random number variable to this. If you click this, you can see all the variables here. Okay. So from here, I have assigned it. So you can see random number variable. This is 1, 2, 3. I'm showing example for the manual assignation, and 4, 5, 6. I'm assigning dynamically how to assign the variables. Let's run it. You can see status, it is updated running. Initial value is 101. It incremented by 1. Value it is showing 102. Increased value is 102. Perfect. But here I am generating a random number. You can see within 1000 to 9999, it generated a random number. It automatically assigned. I never passed 27462 to it, but it automatically generated and assigned it. So this is how we can pass the variable dynamically, and this is how manually we can pass the variables. And you can see the flow variables on the left side. It is showing all the flow variables and its values also. Okay. So if you want to clear this value, you can use this button, clear value. You can see all values are cleared. Okay. And how many actions? We have 6 actions. It is showing 6 actions we have. So this is how we can create the variable. So next we are going to see our conditions. So this is the condition. We saw how to create hello world. We saw how to create the variables, how to use the variables. Now I'm going to show you how to use the conditions. So let me open the conditions. And one thing you notice, when you prepare any of the flow, it will be there in this. You can directly click here to run it, or you can click on the edit button to edit it. Let's say you have done some mistake. You want to edit something. Definitely you can click there and edit the flow. So this is how I am clicking on editing, and I'm showing you how the logic I implemented, because definitely I cannot go and create everything right now. So, and if you have any concern, any queries to answer, please go on and post in the chat window. I'm happy to answer you. Perfect. So you can see now the variable in this, actually what I'm using conditions, I'm using the combinations of the variables. And because now we are learning, right, 0 to hero. So now we are slowly moving towards the hero. So we know how to set the variables. First, I'm setting the variable to null. Then display input dialog, that inflow dialog with messages mark, and store the input value, store the user's input, because initially we saw how to display the messages, but now I'm going to take the user input. Let's say we will give the input, and that input will be used in the flow. Okay. Then we are setting the variables. Then on that basis, we will proceed towards the if else condition. So this one we know, set variable, we already know from our last discussion, last action. What exactly display input dialog? Here I'm asking enter the mark of the student. Okay. Input dialog message is mark, and I want to make it in a single line. It's as your wish. You can make it the password or multi-line as per the business requirement. So it is generating one variable, that is capture mark and user input. So this is dialog input, display input dialog. Again, all these actions, whatever you can see in bold, right, it is available here. I'm just taking from here. Earlier we saw display messages. I'm using now this time display input dialog. Just drag and drop here. So this is how about display input dialog. Then set variable we already saw. I'm taking the input and the same input with messages mark. I'm taking the input from here and that input I'm assigning to here, because this is mark is my initial variable. User input here I'm passing through and I'm assigning the mark with the user input, which I'm capturing in the step 2. Okay. So then I'm displaying the messages. This is student's mark is this. Okay. Let's say what condition I'm putting. If mark is greater than 500, then student is qualified as distinction. Okay, securing this much of mark. If let's say mark is greater than equal to 300, is excellent. I put it because I am not on multiple if else. I put it at last else condition. If less than that, student is failed. I don't have any good or something average. Okay. So this is just for a demo point of view I'm showing. If you want, you can add another else if criteria. So how exactly we are going to add? So this is, you can see one if. If I type if here, you can see if has a lot of options. If file exists, if folder exists, if this. But now I'm going to use only if. Okay. If I use this, it will generate this if then. Okay. If I want to use else if, I'll drag and drop. This one I used else if. Let's see what exactly I used within if. If I put the first operand is mark, definitely I'm capturing the mark from the variable. Then greater than operator I put, if it is greater than this, you can see a lot of operators are here. So I'm taking this second operand is 500. This one I'm dynamically manually I'm passing, because this is my criteria. If it is 500, more than 500, it is qualified. Less than 500, it is the marking is accordingly. Okay. So this is how I'm assigning. Then within that, I'm displaying the messages that yes, student qualified as distinction. Display messages is nothing but it's this one we already discussed how to create display messages. I'm just displaying these messages along with that, this variable mark variable. Okay. So this is how we will add it. Then else if criteria, again, I'm adding this, but here the action is else if, not if. In else if, the same process, you can see the first operand, operator, then second operand. Okay. And then else. What exactly else has? Else marks at the beginning of the block, that is marks the beginning. Okay. Okay, else is the end actually. It doesn't have any criteria. So that's why it is asking me, it's nothing to do. Just you go ahead this. Sorry, typo. You can see this is else. Okay, it's just ending block. So this is the messages I'm displaying and how it is going to execute. Let's see. I'm going to run this. So you can see it is becoming, color is changing while running, actually line by line. It started running. Okay, now it is asking me display input. I'm entering, let's say I'll enter 499. Students 499. Perfect. It is excellent mark because 499 is less than 500. That's why it is excellent. Okay, it's not distinction. Completed, closed. You can see all variable has the value here. Okay. If you want to clear, you can click it, clear it. So now let me run again. I'll show you with one distinction value. Let's say I'm entering 501. So 502 is also fine. Student qualified a distinction, securing mark 502. Okay, so this is how we can use the if else condition. So we understand how to use the conditional statement. So next is loop. How we will use the loop. Loop means we all know, it's a, we use normally for loop, do while loop, and for each loop. There are different kinds of loops are there. So we will see some loops here. So here we are going to use the loop. In loop, if you see, again, we are setting the variable, then we will add different kind of loops. If I type here loop in actions, I can see there are different kind of loops, right? Loop condition, exit loop, next loop. Okay, so I'm going to show you here loop and loop condition. Okay, what is the difference between these two? We will see also what is the difference between these two. So loop, just drag and drop here, it will create this loop. So loop start from counter. It is asking a counter because I am taking a variable. Its name is counter. Counter is the variable. It ends 3. It incremented by 1. Last is 3. Okay. So if it end 3 means definitely it is going to count. Increment by 1 means 1, 2, 3. It will go till 3. And variable it produced its loop index. Okay. So, and then I'm setting the set variable counter to increment the counter. I'm setting another variable counter to counter plus 1, increasing the counter here. Okay. How will increment the counter? I use the same counter variable. I used same this counter variable and incremented the value. When I incremented, I added within this percentile sign. Okay. If you put this outside percentile sign, definitely it is not going to increment. So that's why keep this in mind. You have to insert here within the percentile sign to increment the value. So now it is incremented and you can see, sorry, incremented and you can see the messages. So similarly, I put the exactly same thing, condition, loop condition here, counter, I put it less than or equal to something. Second operand, I put it 6. Why I put 6? We'll see here in the next. It's counter again. It's the same thing. Counter, I incremented the counter, counter plus 1 and display messages. Let's run it. We will see what exactly the difference. So you just keep note of this flow variable section. You will know the difference. Okay, started. You can see now it displays first message. 3 times it will show me messages. Okay, so counter is 2, loop index is 1. I clicked OK. Now counter is 3, loop index is 2. Counter is 4, loop index is 3. Here it is moving away. It moved away. You can see it moved away towards this because it is still 3. This is till 6. It's moved away from there. Now you can see earlier loop index was 1, 2, 3. Okay. Counter was 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you can see counter is incrementing. You can see counter incremented, but loop index remains same. Why? Because loop index is the variable for loop. Loop index is not the variable for loop condition. It is kind of a for loop. This is kind of do while loop we use. Okay. So this is how we can use different kind of loops. So next we will do towards the command. So command is nothing but actually I renamed it as command. Rather, I'll say CMD actions and different service actions we are going to perform here. We will see how exactly it is working. So here you can see I'm using different system actions. Okay, this is mostly used by the system admin team. Okay, whenever they want to ping, they want to monitor, right? Ping to any service, any server or any portal or anything. So they use this. All these admin related activities also it is inbuilt, it is there. You can go and just search ping. You can see ping is there. Okay. Even DOS command prompt also it is there. I can open the DOS command prompt. Okay. IP config information. I'm going to execute any kind of command. I can see here. So you can see ping I used. Then DOS command prompt. You can see here it is. Okay. Command prompt is here. I use this one. Then services. Start service, stop service. This is also again all the actions you can search from here. Let's see in ping actually what exactly we are passing. Definitely ping will ask the host name. Now I'm pinging to google.com. This will everyone knows this is my host. I want to ping this and timeout after 5,000. It's you can define. Okay, it produced 2 variable and display message. What is the ping result? Okay, then run command. Run command is nothing but I want to command run any kind of command. I can pass it. I'm passing DOS command from IP config. Let's say you don't want to pass IP config. Any does command, you can pass it over here. Okay. Let's say host name, right? Let me check first. Okay. Host name is showing this. Let's see. In our application, it should show this. Okay. I changed it to host name. Then this one we'll see. Then along with that, this one I have to rename, right? Now I want to see the host name. So I change it to host name information. Then service. Let's say I want to stop any service. I have this service, Docker service, desktop service. Before that, I want to show you that this service is running. Okay. Docker desktop service, you can see status is running. Let me put it cancel, display message, service is stopped. Then I'm starting again the service. Let's run it. Success. It is showing me host name perfect. Cannot stop service, Docker service. Okay, I think some issue. This one Docker service, it's not able to stop, it's fine. So this is how it will work. I think some issue with my service. So this is how we can execute different command prompts. Then I don't want to show this. Let's say if I want to use the Excel automation. Excel automation is nothing but, let's say if I want to automate any kind of Excel. In this, what I'm doing, I'm just extracting. If you see, this is the folder I'm using. In this folder, I have different information I stored. Student, class, mark, percentage, email. I want to extract this information. So I can use this Excel automation. I'll just run it. If I'm running this, you will see what exactly it is generating within this folder. Previously, it has only Excel sheet, but now it's running. Status is running, you can see. Now we will see it generated Excel file. It extracted the detailed information to the text document, extracted to the CSV documents. Okay, so this is how the Excel automation will work. Then PDF automation, we have something. Let's say this is my folder. Let me run it first. This is my PDF automation folder. You can see these are blank. Okay, and I'm going to extract Dynamics 365 overview roadmap. From this PDF document, I want to extract all the images, all the texts. So this is how I'm going to use this PDF automation. So let's see, previously these were blank till the end of the execution. Here it is. You can see it extracted all the images from this Microsoft document. Okay. And then it extracted all the texts here also into this notepad. Okay, so this is how it helped to extract the information. Let's say this is the web automation. Web automation, it will extract the information from any website. Okay, so this is how the web automation is all about. Let me run it. I ran it, the web automation. It is open the website and it will capture the information from the website. I open this powerusers.microsoft.com. This is the website. It will capture this content from this website. You can see it captured the information from the website. Okay, this is how the web automation will work. And desktop automation, it will open the application. We can use our application also to automate the desktop application. This is also one of the segment we can do. So you can see it opened my application Contoso invoicing automatically. It is asking me enter a value. Okay, I'm entering the value. I'll just put something random note. Perfect. You can see how it automatically helps us to enter the informations. I don't need to open anything. This is just as a demo. If you keep on exploring the things, we will know how exactly we can process all these things. That's all from my end. And please keep posting your questions in the chat window so that I will be happy to answer you. And thanks again, DynamicsCon, for this opportunity. And hopefully it will be helpful to everyone. Thank you. Have a great day. Any questions you can ask me here. So we understand actually what exactly Power Automate Desktop and how the things are in Power Automate Desktop and how we will implement. And actually I try to cover as many as scenarios I can cover, but few things to keep in mind, because Power Automate Desktop, as I mentioned, it's we can say it's a new baby in the market, but the thing is that it's excellently increasing the capability day by day. Even today I installed the latest version of Power Automate Desktop. Actually it is 2.13.138. The feature it added, like machines, previously we have machines in preview and machine groups are there, but now they added the machine troubleshooting. Troubleshoot is one of the new feature added, so you can try out the latest feature. So this is how it's all about. It's keep on evolving the things. So definitely in future it is going to something be new. I cannot see any much questions, but still let me tell you few informations. Let's say uh, Power Automate Desktop, whatever the features we understand as part of demo, but there are, if we want to invoke any web service also, yes, that one also we can do. We can use the OCRs feature also, like Power Automate Desktop is providing Tesseract engine. Tesseract, you all knows. If you don't know, Tesseract is the open source and the best OCR engine available in the market as open source. So Tesseract engine we can use, even any custom also. Yes, you can use. Okay, OCR engine. Even if you see the any other product market competitor, let's say UiPath or Automation Anywhere, they are also using the Google, Microsoft Tesseract OCRs. So these are the all features also available in Power Automate Desktop. Even you can go ahead with the cryptography as well. Cryptography means you can encrypt with AES and hash text. So those features also, yes, you can do. And cognitive, anyways, we know it's cognitive features also there, right? Microsoft has its computer vision, text analytics, and all these things are there. And machines and machine groups, actually in some organizations it's not allowed, so there you can use on-premise data gateway, that is allowed, like currently government community cloud and all these Department of Defense and all these things, there are some restricted places you cannot use the machine and machine groups. So there you can use the Power Automate on-premise data gateway. Okay, so that is one thing. And maximum number of machines you can register is in a group is 50, and maximum number of time a desktop flow can run is 24 hours. So these are the caps we have to keep in mind. And the licensing part, I already shared the license. If you see the licensing guide, I already posted in the chat window. So hopefully that will be helpful to understand the pricing part, because Sumit, I think, asked one question, because unattended has some licensing consequences, so we need to check out what are the licensing pricing details. And yes, the process wise, or you can follow the similarly, the different processes are there. And to add on that, if you want to run the desktop flow from cloud flow, yes, that is also we can do. And one more thing I can convey, like there is a timeout also. Timeout means maximum amount of time and desktop flow can be queued is a 3 hours. So let's say we have different statuses, right? It can queue up based on the priority. Maybe the running, it's queued, or next to run. So it can wait for 3 hours. Within the 3 hours, if it does not run, it will be timed out. So this is, there are few things I just want to convey. And whenever any locked window sessions are there, let's say if any desktop flow is running and if you manually locking that, then session will be terminated. So this is one of the thing also we should keep in mind. So as long as you will start using, then you will know a lot of things. So if you can running multiple concurrent desktop flow by same user is not supported, then okay, if you want to add any user or register any machines, extra machines, you should have environment maker or desktop flow machine owner role. Also on that basis you can perform this operation. So these are the few things I just want to convey. Uh, and let me check if any questions. No question. Okay. So if that is the case, there are Power Automate desktop. Yes, in future it has a lot of things are there. Uh, uh, okay. And yep. Okay. So you can try out latest. Actually, just before this session I installed my latest one. You can try out the machine troubleshoot feature is newly introduced. You can try out, export the logs from the machines. You can check if any errors in registering the machines or anything, that you can track from there. And whenever you are performing multiple desktop flows on a single device, let's say in that scenario, the steps is a correct step is like we should set up Windows Server 2016 or 2019 device with on-premise data gateway with the latest version to be installed. Then we should use two different accounts. We should not use the single account to run it. Okay, targeting the gateway. So this is also one of the thing we should keep in mind. So while running any of the flows concurrently, that is one point. What else? Yeah, actually, if you are running any flow and if you change the environment, there is an option. If you noticed when I was showing the demo, there is an option to change the environment. If you change the environment while running the flow, then all the connections will be lost. So that's why environment change, don't change any environment. So when you are doing any kind of operations, okay, that is also one of the thing to keep in mind. Mm, any more questions? No questions so far. So I would recommend everyone to try out the features, specifically the OCR feature, because few of the scenario when I have one of the customers requirement previously, like they have a lot of documents actually. Okay, they want to digitize those documents, and they are maintaining a lot of resources to convert into write the documents from handwritten documents. So it is very tedious task, right? So if we use the OCR feature in a correct way, so that it can be digitized, all the handwritten things and all these things, that is one of the best use of these features. That is one I can feel. Then next is cognitive services. Anyways, we know, like language translator and all these things are right, computer vision, text analytics, those features also we can try out. So that is one of the feature. Then next is Power Automate desktop is evolving day by day. As I mentioned, last version is, actually the version is updating quite frequently. So you try on exploring the things. Definitely it is going to be matched with the existing, it's almost matched actually with existing products of market leaders. But definitely it is going to be exactly same. What are the different features still few people feel, actually, to be honest, few things are still there, but it is keep on evolving. Maybe down the line after of the next 6 months, what is going to be happen. And anyways, thank you everyone, and thanks Dynamics Con for this opportunity, and hopefully my session is helpful to everyone. And see you in later, maybe next year, if the things goes well. Thank you everyone.